There comes a time in the life of every chosen one when the weight they carried in silence begins to lift, not because the pain disappeared, but because the truth can no longer stay hidden. This is not a dramatic turning point, it is a quiet one, and that is what makes it undeniable. For a long time, you walked through life misunderstood. You were present, yet unseen, honest, yet questioned, strong, yet expected to break. You absorbed things others refused to take responsibility for. You gave people the benefit of the doubt when they didn't deserve it. You stayed respectful even when you were disrespected, and through it all, you kept your dignity intact. What many never noticed is that silence, when held by the right soul, becomes evidence over time. It records patterns. It reveals inconsistencies. It allows people to expose themselves without being interrupted. You did not chase validation. You did not demand apologies. You did not seek revenge or recognition. You simply continued being who you are, grounded, aware, and emotionally honest. Now, the atmosphere around you feels different. Conversations shift when your name is mentioned. Stories no longer sound convincing. The same people who once stood confidently in their version of events now hesitate, explain, or avoid. This is not your doing. This is the natural consequence of truth outlasting deception. The people who hurt you are being exposed one by one, not publicly shamed, not attacked, but quietly revealed through their own words, choices, and behavior. Life is showing others what you endured without ever having to say it out loud. You are not witnessing revenge, you are witnessing balance. And this moment marks the beginning of a new chapter, one where you no longer carry the weight of being misunderstood, and where your journey finally makes sense in the light of clarity. Chosen ones are rarely understood while the story is still unfolding. Your nature does not align with surface-level thinking, and that alone creates friction. You move with depth in a world that rewards speed. You observe in a culture that reacts. You feel in a system that prefers numbness. Your presence carries weight, even when you say very little. People sense that you see beyond appearances, beyond titles, beyond carefully constructed masks. And when someone feels seen at a level they are not ready to confront, discomfort arises. This discomfort often turns into judgment. You were misunderstood not because you were unclear, but because clarity threatens illusions. You didn't play the expected roles. You didn't compete loudly. You didn't seek validation through performance or approval. Instead, you remained internally anchored. That made certain people uneasy. In environments built on control, authenticity looks like rebellion. In relationships built on dependency, emotional independence looks like coldness. In spaces fueled by ego, humility is often misread as weakness. So narratives were formed around you. You were labeled difficult when you set boundaries. You were called distant when you protected your energy. You were seen as strange when you refused to follow dynamics that felt dishonest. And yet, none of this was accidental. Chosen ones often enter systems not to fit in, but to reveal what no longer works. Your very existence highlights imbalance. Your consistency exposes contradiction. Your values quietly challenge environments rooted in fear, manipulation, or hierarchy. Without raising your voice, you became a mirror. People projected onto you what they couldn't accept within themselves. Their jealousy looked like criticism. Their insecurity sounded like concern. Their unresolved wounds disguised themselves as opinions about you. This projection was never about who you truly are. It was about what your presence awakened in them. And here is the part most people miss. Truth does not chase recognition. It waits. Because chosen ones are not here to convince. They are here to remain authentic long enough for reality to speak for itself. And eventually, it always does. Your silence was never an absence of awareness. It was a conscious choice shaped by discernment. You saw what was happening long before others did. You noticed patterns repeating. You felt when energy shifted. You recognized when words no longer matched actions. But you also understood timing. You knew that reacting too early would pull you into dynamics that were not meant to define you. You knew that defending yourself against distortion often strengthens the distortion. You knew that some people are not listening to understand, but to control the narrative. So you chose restraint, not because you lacked strength, but because you respected it. You learned that clarity does not require constant explanation. You learned that self-respect sometimes means letting people misunderstand you temporarily. You learned that peace is built by knowing when to step back, not when to step in. Your silence became a boundary. While others were busy talking, you were observing. While emotions ran high, you stayed grounded. While stories were being twisted, you stayed rooted in truth. And during this time, something subtle yet powerful was happening. Without interference, people revealed themselves. Without confrontation, inconsistencies surfaced. Without your participation, unhealthy dynamics lost momentum. You did not need to expose anyone. You simply stopped absorbing what wasn't yours. Your consistency became the contrast. Your calm became the reference point. Your integrity became the silent standard against which everything else was measured. Silence allowed patterns to repeat clearly enough for others to notice. Silence allowed intentions to surface without being challenged. Silence removed excuses. And because you stayed aligned with yourself, the truth matured naturally. What is unfolding now is the result of patience, not passivity, of wisdom, not avoidance, of emotional intelligence, not fear. You trusted that what was real would remain standing, and what was false would eventually collapse under its own weight, and that trust is now being validated. Exposure does not arrive as an explosion. It unfolds as a gradual unraveling. At first, nothing appears to change on the surface. The same people speak. The same stories circulate. The same roles are played. But underneath, the structure begins to weaken. Small inconsistencies start to surface, not all at once, but just enough to create discomfort. A word doesn't match a previous statement. A reaction feels exaggerated. A justification sounds rehearsed rather than sincere. People may not immediately confront what they notice, but awareness has already begun. Energy shifts before opinions do. Those who once defended certain individuals start to pause. Those who repeated narratives without question begin to hesitate. Something feels off, even if they can't yet explain why. And this is how truth enters quietly. You are no longer present to absorb confusion or carry emotional weight that was never yours. Without your energy stabilizing the imbalance, the system starts to expose its own cracks. The same individuals who once appeared confident in their version of events begin to over-explain. They repeat themselves. They offer details no one asked for. They attempt to control perception rather than simply exist within it. Meanwhile, you remain unchanged. Your steadiness becomes contrast. Your absence from the narrative becomes noticeable. Your refusal to engage creates space. And in that space, reality speaks. You did not correct anyone. You did not clarify misunderstandings. You did not fight for recognition. You simply withdrew your participation from distortion. And when lies are no longer reinforced, they lose coherence. They require constant energy to survive, and without it, they unravel. People begin connecting dots on their own, not because they were instructed to, but because patterns become too clear to ignore. This is exposure in its purest form, organic, self-generated, and irreversible. This process could only unfold without your direct involvement. If you had spoken too soon, the focus would have shifted from truth to emotion. If you had defended yourself, the conversation would have centered on tone rather than facts. If you had exposed others directly, intention would have been questioned before evidence was considered. By remaining grounded, you removed all distractions. What is being revealed now carries weight because it stands on its own. It does not depend on your testimony. It does not require your explanation. It does not rely on emotional appeal. It is simply observable. This is why the exposure feels undeniable. No one can claim it was manipulated. No one can accuse you of seeking revenge. No one can argue that you controlled the outcome. Life itself became the witness. Your role was not to prosecute. It was to remain aligned. And alignment has a way of allowing imbalance to reveal itself naturally. While others adjusted stories to maintain appearances, you stayed consistent. While others shifted behavior depending on the audience, you remained the same. While others relied on narratives, you relied on integrity. Time amplified this difference. Consistency builds credibility. Inconsistency erodes it. What is happening now is not punishment. It is consequence. The truth is speaking because it was never interrupted. The outcome is clear because it was never forced. You did not need to be vindicated. You needed to be free, and this process ensured exactly that. By staying out of the conflict, you preserved your clarity. By refusing to intervene, you protected your future. By trusting timing, you allowed balance to restore itself without cost to your peace. This is why the exposure feels final. It did not come from reaction. It came from reality. And reality, once revealed, does not need repetition. This stage of your journey is not about witnessing outcomes. It is about internal resolution. The exposure unfolding around you is not meant to pull your attention outward. It is meant to loosen what has been holding you inwardly. For a long time, you carried emotional weight that did not belong to you. Unspoken blame, unfinished conversations, invisible expectations to explain, to forgive, to tolerate. Those burdens shaped how you moved, how you trusted, and how you measured yourself. Now, they are being released, not through effort, but through clarity. The truth that is surfacing externally mirrors a truth that has already settled within you. You no longer question your perception. You no longer minimize what you experienced. You no longer feel responsible for other people's behavior. This is not empowerment through resistance. It is empowerment through acceptance. You accept that what happened was real. You accept that your response was appropriate for who you were at the time. You accept that growth does not require revisiting old wounds. Your role in this phase is to stay aligned with what feels stable, grounded, and authentic, not to revisit past dynamics, not to seek validation from those who failed to see you, not to re-enter emotional contracts that once drained you. Your energy is reorganizing itself. You are becoming more selective, not out of fear, but out of self-respect. Your confidence is quieter, but more solid. Your intuition is less reactive and more precise. You move forward with fewer explanations and stronger boundaries. You no longer feel the need to prove your worth. You simply embody it. This is not the end of a chapter. It is the clearing that makes the next chapter possible. With clarity comes responsibility. As the truth becomes visible to others, some may attempt to re-enter your life with new awareness, but unchanged behavior. Recognition may come without accountability. Understanding may arrive without repair. This is where discernment matters. You are not obligated to return to environments where your reality was questioned. You are not required to reopen doors simply because someone now sees what they once dismissed. Awareness does not automatically create safety. Some people only recognize your value when they lose access to you. The warning is subtle but essential. Do not confuse exposure with transformation. Do not mistake acknowledgement for growth. Do not interpret attention as alignment. You are allowed to move forward without revisiting the past. And now, the blessing. The connections forming in your next season will feel different. They will not demand explanations. They will not require you to shrink or overextend. They will not test your boundaries to see how much you can endure. These people will meet you where you stand. They will recognize your energy without needing your history. They will respect your silence as much as your voice. You will no longer have to convince others of your integrity. It will be assumed. You will no longer need to defend your choices. They will be understood. This is the reward of alignment, not admiration, not validation, but peace. The kind of peace that comes from knowing you did not betray yourself, even when it would have been easier to do so. And that peace becomes the foundation for everything that follows. Chosen ones, what is unfolding now is not punishment for anyone. It is alignment for you. The truth is surfacing naturally. Justice is moving quietly, and your peace is no longer negotiable. Trust the process you survived, honor the strength you built in silence, and continue walking your path with clarity. If this message resonated with your journey, welcome home. This is Wisdom Path, where truth is gentle, power is quiet, and growth is intentional. Subscribe to the channel, stay connected, and walk this path of wisdom together. Your journey matters.